Hi, I'm Dave Thiede, and this is your Cottage Grove Council update for September. So, there's been a lot of discussion about water lately, and so I went and found our Public Works Director, Ryan Burfiend, to kind of find out what's going on. So, thanks for joining us today, Ryan.
My pleasure, Dave.
Ryan, recently the DNR required all metro communities to put in water restrictions. So, can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, definitely, Dave. So I think as people have heard, there's been a pretty major drought this summer. It's been getting worse and worse and worse as we've gone along. And as that's happened, the DNR entered this drought warning and drought restrictive phase, where they said any public water supply, you need to implement restrictions to reduce your water use. As a city, we already had an odd and even and time of day restriction, so residents could not water between noon to 4. But we implemented above and beyond that, no watering on Tuesdays or Wednesdays. So that took an extra day out of the equation for watering. And we have seen a drop in our average, kind of weekly water use, which has been good. On top of that, we've done other things such as, reduce irrigation in roundabouts and boulevards and at our city parks. We also made some changes at our golf course, even though it's on a well, private well, but still good to do and to save the water and preserve the aquifer. Other things we've done include selling irrigation controllers,
Right.
smart controllers. Those have been a big help to our city and our water use, and also doing irrigation audits for our residents as well. The final piece of that puzzle is, per the DNR, we have a tiered rate structure, which has to do with how much you pay versus how much water you use.
Okay. I've had residents talking to me about their water bills being high, and well, to be honest, mine has been higher also. So, what's up with that?
Yep, Dave. So when you look at a typical indoor water use, just inside the home, it's around 6,000 gallons a month. That amounts to about $9 on the water portion of your bill. Now let's look at that same typical water user. Let's say it's a household of 4, and you take into account all the outdoor water use, which in the summer, if you have an irrigation system, is really the biggest part of it. And let's say we look at that person and they follow our normal restrictions, as I mentioned, the odd even, every other day watering, and following the time of day.
Okay. Yeah.
And so you take a look at that and you look at how much water that typical user used last year. So summer of 2020, it was much more of an average summer. We had a few dry spells, but that user used around 16,000 gallons per month during the summer last year, which is about $25 on a water bill. Now you look at that same user this summer, it's about 22,000 gallons a month. And with our tiered rate structure, the more you use, the more the water costs. So it's about $56 per month this year for that same household.
Okay. Yeah. The dry weather obviously uh, confounds that because we water more, right, to try to keep the grass green, right?
Yeah, exactly. And then if you look at a lot of water use, because we do get some questions about very high water bills. We know there's some users out there who might follow the odd even, but let's say they water 3 times a day. It wouldn't be unreasonable to see a water bill of $150 or more because you're putting so much water on your lawn.
Right. Right. Well, thanks for breaking that down for us, Ryan. That's very helpful. And I was kind of looking around. Obviously, we're standing in this all looks new, and I think this was part of the whole settlement and the
Mhm.
water deal, and we've done other things for the
Mhm.
clean water. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yep, sure, Dave. So right now we're in our well 7 and 8 water treatment plant. This is a temporary water treatment plant. We call it. It's one of 3 that we built. This one was built and operational last year. The other 2 we built in 2017. And those temporary plants are what we have in place for the time being until we can implement that long-term plan that recently came out.
Okay. And like you were telling me before, this is kind of all paid for from the 3M settlement, and it's actually kind of leased. So once we get our permanent setup, this all goes back to the people that
Mhm.
leased it to us, right?
Yep, that's correct.
Okay. So the master water supply plan that was developed by the DNR as part of this 3M settlement just recently came out. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yep, sure thing. So that was our conceptual drinking water supply plan, very long name they gave it, but final master water supply plan developed by the DNR and the MPCA. And what that's going to be is that's going to guide our long-term solutions for PFAS and contamination across the whole East Metro, so 14 different communities. For Cottage Grove, what that means is we got in the plan around $63 million to implement these new projects, which will be 2 permanent water treatment plants. One will be kind of near the central fire station. The other one is down south of 100th Street. We also get a new city well to replace 2 of our contaminated wells that are really just too isolated to treat. And then lots of water mains and different projects to connect all those wells, and also some money to connect some rural homes to city water as well. And the timing of that, people will see maybe by the central fire station, hopefully breaking ground next year on that first treatment plant, with more of those projects to follow in the years after.
All right, great. Well, you should all see a Clean Water for Cottage Grove logo on your screen. We developed this recently for all the 3M settlement projects so that folks know these things are actually part of the settlement plan and not coming out of your tax dollars. So the city staff, including Ryan, did a fantastic job of making sure that Cottage Grove residents were taken care of in this 3M settlement so that we could have clean water for years to come. Well, I think we're just about out of time. I'm kind of getting that signal. So, thanks for joining us. Thanks, Ryan, for helping us understand this more.
Thanks,
and
Dave.
I'm Dave Thiede, and this is your Cottage Grove Council Update for September.